Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 60 Football Academy and 60 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling.
Welcome to 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Happy Monday. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We got a lot to talk about here today. As we wrap up the month of January here, we got about a 2-month or a 2-week lull between conference title games and the Super Bowl. So still a lot going on. But we do have a lot to talk about today. So Bailey, ones and twos this bitch, and let's roll.
Let's roll, man. We're gonna have a great show on this fine Monday. And this show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with constant real-time odds in action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA and college basketball, NHL to UFC and boxing, head to the website today to see why BetOnline is America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here and we roll. Matt, we are here on this fine Monday. You had a nice appearance on the Coach JB show this morning, breaking down Josh Allen's final four. Huh?
Cooking him?
Yeah, I think you were right about the protection.
Yeah, I cooked his ass this morning. I don't know why he can't just say I'm wrong, but shit. I'm not saying he's wrong. He should have thrown the fucking screen, but there's a lot more shit going on.
Oh yeah.
Correctly. One. That was fun. Look, check this out right off the bat. This guy's got me fucked up.
Yeah, I laughed at that. Matt, go ahead.
Coach Prime's my guy. If he does leave one day, which he will, I don't know how many times I've said that. This isn't going to last forever. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be so gracious for the time that he's spent in Boulder and how cool he's made the university again. And the University of Colorado will never not be Coach Prime University again. Like he could go down, even if he doesn't win a national title, he could go down as the most revered and best coach in the history of the school.
Absolutely.
And that's not like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's a short list. Because until Coach Matt got there in 82, we were not a great program. We had a couple good years and shit, obviously, but Chunk Fairbanks and guys like that back in the day. But the list of best coaches in Colorado history are Coach Mack, Coach Barnett, and then who? Coach Neuheisel. He would. I can't say he was a great coach or. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all, Peter. I think that when Coach Prime does decide to leave, I think that he will. I think it'll be awesome, and I'll say thank you and give him a hug, and he'll always be a Buff. So, yeah, bro, you miss me with that shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Also, people don't really consider. I mean, Prime has been so he's transformed that program in such a short period of time. It's just something to think about. I think
the Cowboys just hired Brian Schottenheimer, for God's sakes. Let's be real here, Bailey. All these people, how many times did we say that he's not leaving? Don't listen to this. How many times, dog? So, if he wanted to leave, I guarantee you he could have taken the Cowboy job if he would have pressed it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
If he would have met with Jerry and said to Jerry, I want this job more than anything on earth. Mm-hmm. And he would have gone out in the media and said, I want to be the Cowboys coach. He would be the Cowboys coach. but he didn't want to do it. He likes where he's at. He likes what he's doing. He likes college football. Mm-hmm. And remember this. I know that a lot of people don't think that he's loyal. And I don't know where you get that. His loyalty is a big thing with him. And Rick George was loyal to him first and gave him the opportunity first.
For sure.
And that's going to go a long way. So I don't think he's leaving this year. Definitely not. Not with the recruiting class he's got. And there's nowhere else to go, number one. And number two, I think that even moving to a college program will take, I think it'd be a monumental ask. I look at their schedule for next year, and I think there's a possibility they could be an undefeated football team.
Man, we're definitely going to break down their schedule at some point. Then you just heard it here first from Big Matt, though. I think Prime definitely is loyal. I think he definitely wants to prove people wrong with saying, like, because everyone's like, oh, he's gone, he's leaving.
Remedial? That's what we call remedial.
Nah, that's the chat said it. No. But Matt, let's get into it. We got a great show planned today. Colorado Buffs are dominating at the Shrine Bowl. Let's break it down. So there's about, I believe, 5 or 6 Buffs at the Shrine Bowl, 6 players to be exact. And I just kind of wanted to get your just kind of overall take as to all these players when it comes to the draft and where you could see these guys going, what rounds, because I think they're definitely making a name for themselves here down at the Shrine Bowl. Here's LeJohntay Wester on a route. He speaks for himself. He's going to be a hell of a player. I think someone will definitely take a look at him. But, Matt, with respects to these 6 players, let's discuss their kind of draft status and where you see them going. Shedeur, Shiloh, Cameron, Simon Stillman, Craig, Jimmy Horn, LeJohntay Wester, and then Will Sheppard. Go ahead.
Let's start going backwards. With the 3 receivers, Horn, Wester, and Sheppard, I think they're all drafted. They're all drafted somewhere like 3, 4, 5. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's perfect spots to go find great players. Like Tyreek Hill was a 3rd rounder, for God's sake. So I think that all 3 of them are going to be picked. It's just a matter of where. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos take a guy like Wester, because the Broncos need a fucking slot receiver bad. Mm-hmm. So he could be a great fit in Denver. On the other side there, Selman Craig, he's a draftable player as well. I think he'll go somewhere and be a great special teams player and provide great depth. Mm-hmm. He's probably 3rd, 4th, 5th round, something like that as well, maybe later. I think Shiloh, who's been playing really well down there from what I've heard, and like people are very impressed with him. I think he's probably in the same boat. And I wouldn't be surprised if Shedeur goes number 1 to whomever, whether the Giants trade up to get him, the Raiders trade up to get him, or the Titans stay where they're at. Because I think those are the 3 possibilities for real. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think the Giants can sit behind. I don't think the Giants can sit behind those Tennessee and Cleveland. I don't think they can sit there and wait for him, because I think if that happens, you're inviting the Raiders, who are being run by Tom Brady, who loves Shedeur, to just say, fuck it, we're moving up to pick him. So I could see that happening. So though I think whichever one of those 3 teams decides to draft Shedeur, which personally I would love to see the Raiders take him, because I want him in the AFC West. I want to see him twice a year. I want to be able to go see him when he comes to Denver. I want to be able to just hop on a quick flight and fly an hour to go to Vegas to see him. And then you get Mahomes, Shedeur twice a year, Mahomes, Herbert twice a year, Mahomes next twice a year. The great fucking coaches in this division now with Reed, Carroll, Sean Payton, and Harbaugh. Like, there's just Super Bowl rings and Super Bowl appearances everywhere. Hopefully Pete Carroll can turn the Raiders into a very respectable, good football team, please. I think NFL's just better when they're better. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. Just like, in my opinion, college football's better when Nebraska's really good, because people fucking hate them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it pulls the haters out. Look how good college football is when CU's good.
Yeah.
People hate us. Thank you. You hate us because you hate us. So if the Raiders make the NFL better, I know some people may not agree with that, but I don't give a shit. This is my show. So that's what I'd like to see happen. I don't want to see him really in the Northeast on that shitty turf in cold-ass New York. And look, if Tennessee decides to take him number one, they've earned that right. They're pretty shitty. But I've seen Tennessee do things right. They played in Super Bowls. They've had great quarterback play there in the past. Mm-hmm. They're getting a new stadium. Nashville's on the up. He might just be the perfect fit for them. You know what I'm saying? If they do decide to go that road. So personally, as a Tennessee fan, I would not fucking trade the pick. I'm taking Shedeur. Period.
Yeah, someone who lives in the state. Yeah, everything.
You live there. What do you think? Do you think people down Tennessee way want Shedeur? Is that what's going on?
I think folks here would appreciate it. I think folks here who are, because I'm in East Tennessee, who are all Tennessee Volunteers fans. I think they're kind of stigmatized by the, hating Colorado as the whole country pretty much did. But I think if they looked at it and they're offered, we have the number one pick and he's about to be your quarterback, I think they'd take it wouldn't think twice just because of the play of Will Levis and how much they've struggled, how they're just one.
Is all the Titans down there? Is it all Tennessee football instead of Titan football?
Oh, yeah. Right now, I mean, the Titans are horrible.
Well, yeah, but I mean, people still sell out, right? They go to the games every Sunday.
Yeah, it depends. Like if you get late in the year with the Titans, I don't think they're selling out. But I think that when it comes to Volunteers, they're sold out, and I wouldn't think twice. I think Vanderbilt's definitely on the up now that they're looking not horrible too. So we'll see. But I think that people in the state of Tennessee would really appreciate to have Shedeur. I think that
do they rally around the team at least? I mean, when they're good, do they rally?
Well, yeah, when they're good, for sure. Yeah, when they're good. It's just when they're bad, there's no hope. Like, it's all negative thoughts. And from everyone I've talked to, like, no hope until they get a quarterback. So I think Shedeur might be. I mean, in terms of a fit, we've discussed this on this show, Matt. Like, I think he would be a great fit. Come in, great run game, decent defense. Like, I think it would be a good fit for him. Growing market. Nashville's a huge market, too. It's not like an L.A.
Yeah, it's exploding, bro. Well, I don't think you want to be in the L.A. market. There's too much shit going on.
Right. Yeah, that is a good point.
Like you go to Nashville, and other than the Predators and not even the Grizzlies are in Memphis. How far away is Memphis? That's in West Tennessee, right?
Yeah, that's over kind of an hour and a half south, maybe Nashville.
You guys ever get to any fucking Grizzly games?
No, I ain't been over to a Grizzly game yet. No, I'm not a huge
do the Grizzly games run for like the entire state? Can you watch the Grizzlies in Nashville? Do they give a shit about the Grizzlies in Nashville?
Kind of. Like when John Morant's like, I don't know. I'm not a huge basketball guy, so it's kind of hard for me to answer. But I mean, I would guess so. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that.
Good talk. All right, cool. All right, moving on.
I can tell you, fans here in the state, 99% people that are from here and live here are Tennessee Volunteers fans, and that's kind of right now. Yeah. I guarantee the Titans are good.
Shiloh going with his brother. So if Shedeur goes to the Raiders in the first round, I could see the Raiders taking Shiloh in the fourth.
Man, well, we'll see how it plays out. We're going to discuss the scenarios all offseason. One more guy that you kind of touched on.
Honestly, if I was the Broncos, Chargers, or Chiefs, I would take Shiloh before the Raiders take him just to piss everyone off. So he has to play against his brother twice a year. That would be dope.
That would be entertaining. One more buff that's playing in the Shrine Bowl I got to ask you about. LeJontay Wester here, you see him with the Seahawks legend Tyler Lockett. But I got to ask you, you mentioned the Broncos you think would be a good fit for him. Any other teams that you think would be a good fit for him would be interested in him?
Anybody that wants a fucking slot receiver, because he might be the best one in the damn draft.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He is lightning fast. He needs to catch the ball. I mean, I love that they were posting videos of him the other day dropping the ball. That's not what we're looking for. But his route running is crisp. So he can fly as well, and he gives a shit. So, yeah, anybody that wants a good slot, there he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, let's talk about this. So CBS Sports put out a mock draft that has Shedeur. Well, one has the Raiders trading up for the Titans pick. So that's a start. I don't know if that'll happen.
Right now, that will happen. Tom Brady loves this kid. He runs shit in fucking Vegas now. They just got Pete Carroll. Pete does wonders with guys on rookie quarterbacks on rookie contracts. I'm telling you, dog, this is happening.
Man, well, that would be unbelievable if the Raiders ended up trading up. It'd be interesting to see what they'd have to give up to get the pick. And then on this mock, Tennessee still gets Abdul Carter, who's a freak as well. So interesting. But one thing I wanted to highlight, Jalen Milroe at 3 to the Giants. Now, Matt, I got to ask you, I get Jalen Milroe is a freak athlete. Do you think he's a top 3 pick and he's a top 3 quarterback in this draft?
I don't think he's that good, but who else? What other quarterback after Cam Ward who's next?
Maybe Kyle McCord, I would guess. Maybe Will Howard. I'm not sure.
So you're taking Jalen Milroe, and that's who they get stuck with the Giants, and this is why you need to trade up for a good quarterback. I'm not saying the kid can't be successful. I'm saying that the state of New York, the old school mentality they had never had a black starting quarterback until they had Tyrod Taylor start this year, I believe, or last year. Like it's a very old, smug, traditional franchise,
right?
And I don't know if they can handle a running quarterback that zone reads, and I don't know if Milroe is good enough to fucking do it either. I don't know. So, look, you've got to draft the quarterbacks right there, but I think Milroe has a very high likelihood of being a more experienced AR5.
Oh, man. Well,
and then look, if Travis Hunter does slide to 4 and they get the best player in the draft to put next to Drake May and then go roam the secondary as well, that's a huge get for New England and fucking Vrabel. That's a massive
thing. Yeah, they get Travis Hunter. Like I would, if you're in New York, you let Travis Hunter go, or Cleveland for that. I'm surprised Travis Hunter falls to 4. I'm like,
you got to get the quarterbacks are always going to jump players. It doesn't matter. Like the quarterbacks are always going to go first, and I'm not saying number 1. I'm saying in order because they're impossible to find. Number 1, and number 2, like some of these other teams just don't need quarterbacks. So the Patriots just got one. The Jaguars probably don't need one, unless I've heard a bunch of rumblings that Trevor Lawrence is going to get traded to Tennessee. I doubt that. I doubt that Jacksonville is going to unload the first
Titans overall. Love that.
Why would Titans fans want Trevor Lawrence? No. Trevor Lawrence has a lot to prove to Jacksonville alone before we can start believing that he is what he is.
Right.
Abdul Carter's a great player. If Tennessee gets him, that's a great get.
He's a freak. He's a hell.
Now, he's not Javon Curse. He's not the freak, but he is a great fucking player. And, they might be cool with that too. And then they go and sign a bridge quarterback and draft, McCord or Howard later in the first round and trade back in. Or maybe they take McCord at that spot. I've heard that this McCord kid is tearing it up. So
you also got Dylan Gabriel, Quinn Ewers, who what's going to happen with that?
Quinn Ewers is coming out, right?
Yeah. Yep. As far as I know.
He's not on anyone's list, like at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to Quinn Ewers, man. But let's go back to Jalen Milroe to the Giants. Now, we were talking the Shrine Bowls. We saw Shedeur Sanders obviously talk to Brian Daboll and, just kind of interact with their whole front office management team. But I got to ask you, do you think Daboll would be able to develop Jalen Milroe? I mean, he'd have to cater to a system with his strengths, right?
Well, fuck, you better. They better. I mean, if they don't, then what the fuck are we talking about? So,
right.
Look, I'm not saying that this can't fucking work. I'm saying it's not. I don't think it would be a very good fit in New York. That's all. And Milroe's a good football player at Alabama. I don't know if he's going to be a good pro. There's so much of this you're just throwing against the wall with these quarterbacks too. So he could go tear it up, or he could be really average. I don't know, man. I think Drew Lock really fucked them. One for 4 touchdowns at the end of the year.
Yeah, that is true. Because I think I would have gone ahead and drafted Shedeur, but man, we'll see how it goes. Whether Jalen Milroe falls in the top 3, we will discuss this and cover this all off season. Matt, let's discuss NFL. Chiefs, Eagles are running it back in the Super Bowl. Let's start with the Chiefs game. Bills versus Chiefs. You kind of discussed it on JB's show in depth. Obviously, that 4th and 5 play with Josh Allen and the protection. But Matt, just your brief thoughts on this Super Bowl matchup. Start with the Chiefs. Go ahead.
Look, man. Let me take a breath here before I lose my mind. Okay. The Chiefs have done something special. 4 out of 5 is special. Going for 3 is special. I'm not going to sit here and act like that 20 years from now, people are going to be sitting here talking about the refs. They're not. They're not. Just like I brought up this morning that 2 years ago, the game was directly influenced by a fucking penalty at the end of the game on Bradbury. People forgot about that shit real quick. And it's just another Chiefs Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is the best. I thought that the game was entertaining, but frustrating. I found myself rooting for Buffalo because I want them to dethrone the Chiefs. But at the same time, I found myself having a lot of respect for Kansas City in the way that they can just pretty much do whatever they want to do when they need to do it, which is very rare in sports. I haven't seen that kind of shit since guys like Jordan and Kobe and, great quarterbacks like Brady and Montana and fucking Manning and Elway and guys like that they just said, okay, well, we're doing this now and there ain't shit you can do about it. I know how Chiefs fans feel now when they had to deal with fucking John Elway for 15 years, and it wasn't even close to this kind of dominance from a Super Bowl standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I'm astonished by how good the Chiefs are, especially after this morning's, sit down with Coach JB's show and having to educate everybody about pass protection and listening to how efficient now is boring and sucks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to just pile the hate on. The Chiefs don't make the calls. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to go to the ref when the Chiefs are taking the calls in their benefit and say, you should call this so we don't have beneficial calls. No one's ever going to do that. So the refs are a huge problem. The way the game is officiated is a problem. The quarterback sneak, number one, the Kincaid reception was a first down. The play before that, he landed over the line. That was a first down. They put that back. And then what pisses me off about this play, number one, is first down. Okay, he's over the fucking line right there. And that's not really that much debatable. And even if he's even with it, you've ever heard the expression, if he's even, he's leaving. Well, he's even, he's leaving. But what really got me here is the fucking ref, if you see this on the TV copy, at the top of the screen, runs in at the top of the numbers, singling first down.
First down
the other ref at the bottom of the screen runs in singling first down for Kansas City the other way. So they're on either sides of the line running at each other, and they get there, and the ref at the top obviously didn't have the seniority here and said, oh, okay, yes, Daddy, you're right.
You remember
he's looking right. They're both looking right at the play, but it's just not surprising to me that something happened in the game that everyone's bitching about that's not consistent. And on top of the fucking worthy catch, that ball hit the ground. Not even close. The fucking ball hit the ground and moved. That was
pick too. I'd argue it's a pick.
That's not a catch.
I don't know.
It's Mahomes out there running around. I think some of the fact that he can run around so freely is because people are afraid to get fined if they hit him.
Yeah, he ran a sideline. The Bills DB's put his hands up. I'm like, what?
The refs are. It's a huge issue that the NFL has got to figure out. I mean, come on, man. You got to stop with this shit. People, I love watching your product at times, but fucking Christ, it's making it hard. It's making it hard. The phantom calls on top of just the bad calls. If a penalty is a real penalty, cool. This isn't even a penalty. This is just a terrible call. Mm-hmm. And then also, it's time for technology to take over here. Put a sensor in the ball. That's how you fucking just figure out where it's at on the field, and then digitally figure out if it's first down or not. Period.
Yeah,
this needs to be taken out of the hands of part-time employees when you got this much shit writing on it. So
Amen.
I'm disappointed in that facet of it. Other than that, I thought it was a very competitive, fun game that I feel for Buffalo fans. I do. Your quarterback's 9 touchdowns deep in this rivalry without a turnover. And I don't know what else you can ask for Josh Allen other than when I get to the gym today and do the all-22 breakdown of this play, particularly the one that you've already shown the people. We'll post it. We'll throw it up there for all of our subscribers too. Make sure you check it out at 60 Academy and all over social media. We'll obviously be putting it up here at 0 to 60, but that needs to be done by the quarterback with 11 seconds left. I'm not going to sit here and listen to the quarterback say that it's not a big deal. It's a screen. People are supposed to run free anyway. Like, you still have that clip, don't you? Show everybody that we're talking about, bro, and fucking see. Let me try and explain just how fucking bad this is. And you can't just let people run and throw a screen and act like that shit's going to work. Even screens have to be coordinated. You got to hold people up for half a second or a second, 1 count and go, sometimes longer. So, look, stop it right there. Right now, when you're looking at this, they're in an empty set. Now, all the receivers are to over here by Kincaid. They're all to the offense's left. And they orbit motion Shakir back in. And when they orbit motion Shakir around the quarterback right there, no one chases him. He suddenly moves in with him. But he doesn't chase him. It would be a pass-off. If you see the other safety stepping down, 6 would have rolled high and he would have stepped down if he would have continued knowing it's zone. Right there, now that you know it's zone, Josh Allen needs to go easy, and walk up and go, look, we're in an underfront. The 3 and the 5 over here on the left side are rock one-on-one. We cannot leave. You two got them. Nick Bolton's in the gap. We got to slide right fully to pick up McDuffie, who's stacked. Keep in mind, too, that the other fucking linebackers are also all to the right. So it should easily be a fucking Roger call, but instead it's turned to a Terry call where everybody slides right. He has to know this. I'm going to break it down more with all the terms and shit when I get to the gym, and we'll post that. But outside the box here, he has 11 seconds left on the fucking play clock. Walk up and stop everything. Easy. Pick up the fucking blitz. And then run your play correctly, get rid of the football, and execute and get a first down. Because it is a winnable down if you don't shit on yourself and panic. Because right when Josh Allen doesn't know what he's doing, it's not surprising to me that the offensive line panics and doesn't know what they're doing. We've got multiple guys on the O-line that don't block fucking anybody.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
They turn the wrong way in their protection, and that's a call. And
what do you have to say?
But trust me, this is not like, fucking Kincaid dropped the ball. What a bum. This starts at the protection level. If they protect this for 2 seconds, maybe the swing path is open. Maybe the fucking drag route is open. Maybe he can actually, think about it. If they protect this and everyone turns right and the back runs up to cut the defensive end, oh, fuck. You're telling me the defensive end's dropping, so he's out of the play anyway? Awesome. Yeah. So why are we fucking sliding to him? It's ridiculously remedial. So they go out here. He drops. Look how wide open Kincaid is in the middle of the field. If you've got a couple fucking seconds, stop right there. Just fucking give the guy 1 fucking half second to throw the ball and set his feet. That's a fucking touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much else to say.
Think about this. Have him go, think about they actually protect this correctly, and he's standing in the pocket, hit play. And watch the drag route from Kincaid fucking come to fruition because we actually have time. Right? Now just let it run. Bam. Look at that. How fucking wide open that shit is. It's so open he can just lob it up there and no one even gets close.
Exactly. That's like
Kincaid shut the fuck up. It's a goddamn protection issue, period. If you can't protect the passer, you can't pass the football. So I'm listening to that this morning on my fucking head about ready to explode. It's a screen. We don't need to protect anyone. That's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard.
No, I thought JB was a little short-sighted when it came to that because I'm like, you clearly, until you had the end zone view, it was kind of hard for at least for him to decipher that in his brain. I don't know. I think you explained it pretty eloquently. We'll definitely have that. So check out
the clips at 6-0. Kansas City's special. They deserve it. They're 15-2. They're going for a 3-peat. I don't know if I want them to get it or not. I don't know. There's part of me that's like, fuck them, go Philly. But there's also part of me that says it'd be pretty cool to see a three-peat, something that's never happened. I dig that shit. So I'm very eager to see how this game goes. The Chiefs have all the pieces to be a pretty goddamn successful dynasty for years to come. Don't think that they're just going to fall off now because they won 3 in a row if they do. No, they're going to go for 4 in a row next year if they win 3 in a row. Now, this team ain't going fucking nowhere. They are loaded. Everyone's signed. If anything, they're just going to get better. Like, think about this may be the worst version of the Chiefs you've seen yet. And we said that about last year's team, and they won the Super Bowl. So, again, like, you got to understand that we may just be looking at a big fuck you to the entire NFL until 1-5 and his goddamn road dogs are done. When Andy and 1-5 and 87 and everybody decides to hang it, well, maybe they pass the torch, bro. Maybe.
I do think one thing you noted earlier in the show is their division next year in terms of coaches is going to be loaded. I mean, I think the Chargers definitely going to get better. The Broncos are going to rebound at some point. So, I mean, the Broncos came off a playoff appearance, so I think it's going to be a really good division too. So I'm excited for the future. Matt, let me ask you about the Eagles. Eagles took out the Commanders. Obviously, you got the tush push where the referee was going to award a touchdown if they kept trying to stop them. Matt, what are your just thoughts on the tush push, the play itself? As an offensive lineman, played both ways in the NFL. What are your just thoughts on the play itself? Obviously, the Bills do not run it that great, but the Eagles are unstoppable with it. Your thoughts on the tush push and people calling for it to get banned?
I don't want them to be able to push the guy anymore. I don't care if your quarterback sneak, but no more pushing from behind.
Right.
I was like pretty aggravated about it yesterday. I thought it really got gimmicky there for a minute.
Yeah, I think the Eagles did it every 3rd and 1.
It's not. That's what it is. I get it. It's not illegal, but fuck, it's sure stupid. And, I'm not going to get mad at Louisville for trying to blow it up. This is the only thing you can do to it now. Of course, they're going to try and jump off sides because you're trying to get a ton of momentum for 1 yard. Trying to act like they're doing it intentionally and like they're trying to slow the game down. No, the people that are intentionally doing this dumb shit is the offense. So I think they should find a way to like not get rid of the play, but change it so this isn't happening anymore. All that said, now Philly doesn't win because of this play. Like I'm sure Philly could line up with Saquon on the goal line and fucking score touchdowns. Yeah. This is just a really easy way to get a yard or two. The Eagles are real, dog. 55-23 is no joke. Like their offensive line, even though it was banged up, is legitimate. They are mean. They had center problems yesterday, and they figured it out and put the guard Dickerson at center, and he played pretty well until he didn't. And then Juergens went back in. So the ability for this team to kind of like morph into whatever they need to do that day to beat you. If it's great defense that's needed, morph into a great defensive team. If it's throwing the ball, Hurts goes for 250 and a tutty, very efficient, 20 for 28. If it's running the ball, all of a sudden Hurts has 3 rushing touchdowns. Yeah. So I personally think that Philadelphia also is a very young, exuberant team that has a lot of opportunity in front of them. Like they're a group that I could see being a huge, huge problem for the NFC for many years to come. Like you can't just assume that because Hurts, had some struggles in the pass game. Okay, he fits their system perfectly, but is he a 500-yard passer a game? No, very rare. He's not Joe Burrow. But, Burrow in this run-first system, that's not who you want. You'd have to change the system totally for Joe. So you got to look at it as, are they confident and competent enough to keep moving forward and winning games like this, which I don't know why we wouldn't want to, especially when an established base like this, 4 years, 4 playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, relatively cheap for what you're talking about with quarterback play. Like he's not getting jobbed out of anything. It's just the market value. Keeping this turd fucking happy.
Yep.
You know, sketches for almost 100 yards and a tutty. If he wants to leave, leave. They got Devontae Smith. They got dudes. They'll find a way to draft. They'll draft another good receiver. So everybody's replaceable with the exception of a couple. So it's the opportunity for Philly to knock off Kansas City is right in front of them, bro. Like just dangling there. So I'm hoping that it's a very productive football game. I think that the Eagles have the entire country behind them. Let's just put it like that. Let's be real. But it's gonna be a bigger task than just going out and trying to beat, Mahomes. It's beating the Chiefs. That's a complete football team. So, don't go down to New Orleans and party and shit. Don't be going down there sticking your dick in a blender. That's not productive. Just go down there and fucking hydrate and lock your ass in your room and go to practice, come back, hydrate, lock your ass in your room, same thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
Eat good, sleep good, and go win a football game so you play good. Go play good to win, and then, whatever happens, but don't go down there and then walk out with fucking any kind of regret season. That's not going to work.
Yeah, amen to that. Matt, let's going back to this Eagles Commanders game. Apparently, fans are calling for Tom Brady to be fired after his commentary during the Eagles versus Commanders game. I don't know if you heard any of Tom Brady on the commentary. I didn't really find too much of an issue with it. Did you?
No. Well, fuck the fans, dude. Who cares if they don't like it?
I just saw this.
Tom Brady, bro. He's commentating. Somebody loves him. He's got 7 Super Bowl rings. He's there to commentate on what he sees. And honestly, he's pretty like straightforward. He's kind of shitty because he's learning how to do it, but he's pretty straightforward. So, yeah, man, fans are trying to get him fired. But I love when this happens. We're going to post on social media and get you fired. Shut up, pussy. You're not going to get fired. No one's getting fired because you're offended. Shut up. He's not rooting for the other team. He's just commenting and conversating and trying to go in there and do a job. That's all. But he's not going to get fired because you're upset. Shut up.
Yeah, I just saw this. I thought it was odd.
Really?
Wanted to see if you had a take on it because I didn't have any problem with Tom on the commentary at all. I was just watching the game. But, Matt, going back to Super Bowl, Eagles, Chiefs, in order for the Eagles to sack Patrick Mahomes, I think I wanted to show this demonstration of how they're going to have to sack Patrick Mahomes in order to not get a penalty. Take a listen.
Now move.
Tag, you're it. Now
Okay.
another one.
Now
comes.
you come. Now is where it get tricky because now if y'all both come, now I just need to be laid down safely.
Right.
So you come grab my top half.
So we have to sit here.
Yeah, right here. Now you can come in and get my bottom half.
Okay.
Pick me up. Go ahead. Feel free. Now that's too hard. Don't put me down there. Y'all got something to lay me on? No.
This should be a penalty.
Get something down. Get something down.
Okay.
Lay me down.
Okay.
Don't you do me without that. Now make sure I'm safe. Now put that on because I get cold. I get cold.
Okay.
Lay me down. I get cold.
You good?
Matt, any thoughts?
It's pretty funny. I think Mahomes is a little tougher than he's getting credit for, but
True.
man, I'll tell you, if you're Pat, I don't want this reputation.
This isn't a lock over.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want the reputation of being a soft bitch if I'm Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want the reputation walking around that the refs are covering for me and have my back, and everything that happens is someone else's fault, and they're going to throw a flag. So don't touch Pat. I don't want that reputation. Like, I want hey, they're hitting me late, and I got to go talk some shit to these fucking idiot refs and get them right so we can move forward and I don't get killed out here. Not hey, did you guys see that? You know, like they throw flags and protect him on shit that he's not even involved with. the Houston players hit each other, and he just sat there and got 15 out of it. So I think that it starts with the refs, honestly. But if I'm Pat Mahomes, this is like, it's fucking cute and funny and blah blah blah. But man, I'd be pissed off if I was Mahomes. I don't want this reputation. This isn't the kind of player I am. I'm a tough guy, and I'm not one of these, Sally's out here just that needs to be protected at every turn. That shit would piss me off if I was Patrick Mahomes. So, shit, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Well, there you have it.
Just kind of dumbfounded a little bit on how the entire situation has come full circle here. If you think Mahomes and Kansas City trying to knock off Brady in that AFC title game in 2019 and how the entire country was pulling for Kansas City, and then now it's like 5 years later, it's totally flipped. You feel me? Now the entire country just wants fucking anybody, dog. Allen, Burrow, fucking Lamar. It doesn't. Josh or Jalen Hurts. It don't fucking matter. There's somebody other than Kansas City win, and it's just funny to me how the goddamn cycle just keeps rebuilding on itself over and over again. It's crazy.
Well, here's what I'll say about and that is crazy. I'm not going to be anti-Chiefs here. I think the Eagles are a better team than the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are just better coached. And I think that it's really up to – if you're going to really determine this game, it's how much do you believe in Steve Spagnuolo? Can he shut down Saquon Barkley? Because, he's coming. You already know. He broke off an 80-yarder last game, first play of the game. So we know it's coming. We'll see. And we'll discuss in the next 2 weeks before the game, really just how it's going to go. But I think that's a key factor heading into it. Matt, let's go back to some Colorado Buffs topics. One more before we get out of here, and I got something else to ask you. But Colorado hires Reggie Calhoun Jr. as the director of football, NIL, and revenue sharing. I kind of just want to get your take on this. New era. They're obviously waiting for the House settlement. Now Title IX is kind of playing a part in that, and we'll see how that kind of plays out in April. But, Matt, just get your thoughts on Colorado hiring Calhoun Jr. as their director of NIL and revenue sharing.
I think Coach Calhoun's a great coach. I think I like the GM role now being in college football. That's pretty cool. We'll see what they do with it. Now, NIL is dead now. There's no more NIL. There's going to be that $22 million cap that everybody has to operate under, and that includes other sports, which is so dumb to me, but that's the way the NCAA wants to do it, I guess. We're going to do it. Yeah. Again, the NCAA needs to fuck off, but for some reason the colleges think they need them, or the sense of tradition and the way things are done outweighs productivity and doing it right. So we'll see how that goes. But I like it. I think it's a good hire. I think he'll do a good job. Given the keys to the Lambeau here. And go. He was in both the meetings when I sat down with Coach. So he's very focused on doing it right, not in a hurry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not coming in here to try and change shit, or he's not coming in here to try and say this is the way we're going to do it because I say so. He's coming in and saying, okay, there's certain things that we need to tweak that we can do better. But damn, that was pretty awesome last year. Let's add to it. So sometimes addition by subtraction is a real thing, but this isn't one of those cases. He's a really, really good addition to an already good staff, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely, and I think bringing somebody like this in this era, especially headed into the new, like you mentioned, the new cap. We'll see how the Title IX really kind of affects all of this. That's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out and how that affects other sports along with football. But I think Colorado brings somebody like this in to kind of manage and be that so-called general manager role, so to speak, at times will be really beneficial. Like you kind of see Bill Belichick brought in Michael Lombardi at North Carolina. I see that as well. Before we move on,
think about it like this too, though. Like my argument here now would be, everyone's not equal. We're all the same, but at the college level, like everybody's playing a sport, but we're damn sure not equal. Let's be real. It just has to be. The volleyball team isn't going to be making as much as the football players.
I guess.
Like, you feel me? The soccer team isn't going to be making as much. The line starts with the best football player and ends with the worst football player. And they get more than everybody else because they set the table. The only reason anybody's getting paid at all is because the football team is getting paid. And then right after that, it starts with the best basketball player or baseball player on the team. And goes until they're all done. You know what I'm saying? And then, no offense, but the scraps at the end of the table are going to be what a lot of these other programs get. And I don't care if you don't like it no more. Like, at least people are getting paid. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think folks that are like, I don't know if against kids getting paid, but against it so-called really turning into a business. I think it was a business before, but it really is now. I think that's kind of the pushback. No?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't want the kids to have any power and want to make sure that, you know, the adults in the room are getting paid hand over foot, so they have the power over the kids to hold against them. I think that the kids need to be paid regularly more. I don't think 22 million is enough. I think that number will go up significantly as we progress down the road here. It just has to. Nothing stays the same. So,
right.
You know, it is what it is, but at least now the kids can get paid, thank God. And not just the $100 handshakes, bro. I'm talking real paychecks. So,
yeah,
you know, we'll see how it goes, but I prefer the cap and salary than NIL. And you can still, there's no NIL collectives anymore. I'm not trying to say NIL is done. It's done. There's a $22 million cap at Tennessee, right? And my guy Gage Ginther's at Tennessee. He's going to be a redshirt freshman. They put him on a $250,000 salary based on that $22 million, simply to be on the team, right? There's your base salary. So that's probably going to happen. I'm not saying specifically with him. I'm saying it's a hypothetical. And then after that, you still have the ability as a player to go find your NIL money out here in the world through your name, image, and likeness and your agent. So you can go get a Chevy dealership fucking commercial and you can go advocate for them if your name, image, and likeness brings in those views and brings in those eyes. So it's one of the reasons I'm on everyone's ass I work with about the fucking social media and how important it is simply to just post something every day. And we had a huge group in at 5 a.m. this morning. If you didn't take the advantage there of everyone else being asleep while you're working to post that you were up at 5 a.m., then obviously you don't like money and you don't like eyes and you don't want to be taught, you know, how to do all this shit so you can go get it. So it's a lot of it is just application too, right? Like if you go to college and you're a 6'2", 280-pound lineman, you have to do fucking everything right. You have to go to class every day. You can't have any reason for the coaches to get rid of you. Where the 6'7", 310-pounder might be able to get away with a lot more shit because he's 6'7", 310. I mean, like that shit is hard. So fuck. It's, you know, it is what it is.
Very well said. Before we move on from this topic, wanted to read Coach Calhoun's comments on joining Colorado as their director of football, NIL, and revenue sharing. He says, "This is more than just a title. It's an opportunity to shape the future of college athletics. NIL has changed the game. I'm here to make sure CU is leading the charge. Whether it's managing the cap, building recruiting strategies, or helping our athletes turn their potential into real opportunities, this role is about setting the standard and doing it the right way." He says, "This isn't just about deals or dollars. It's about building a vision that sets our athletes and program up for long-term success. Success comes from systems and support, and I'm grateful to work with some of the best in the business to make that vision a reality." He finished it off saying, "I'm incredibly thankful for the trust and support from anyone who's been a part of my journey. This isn't just a job. It's a chance to give back, to guide, and to build systems that enable our athletes to own their careers while pushing CU football to new heights." Matt, I look forward to the future with Coach Calhoun Jr. as the director of football NIL revenue sharing. Any last comments before we move forward?
I'm just excited about it. I think it's a new title that hasn't been up there in a while. We've talked about, we've talked about Coach Prime and his ability, if he wants, to create a job title for you. So this is a great move. It puts a lot of pressure on him to do some of the jobs that don't have an outline. There's not somebody you can step in and be, what did he do right and wrong? This is just stepping in and going, this is the first time we've done this shit, so whatever he does, right or wrong, I've got to evaluate this, and I've got to make sure that I'm not repeating mistakes, that I'm setting up the university for success through the general manager job. So, I love how diligent he is and how prepared he is. So that's really the thing that stood out to me the most when we met too, is this man was taking notes like we were in third fucking period history class and shit. So yeah, I think they got a good one there.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Colorado hires Reggie Calhoun Jr. as the director of football NIL and revenue sharing. Big news. Shout out to Coach Calhoun Jr. for joining the staff. Matt, last topic before we get out of here. I got to talk about this, and I think you'll have an interesting perspective on this. So LSU's got a true freshman. He's a 5-star wide receiver tight end. His name is Trey Dez Green. He's 6'7", 245. But he also he plays basketball on the LSU basketball team, and he's been making plays. And I got to show you this one play because I saw this play and I was like, "Whoa, this cat is unbelievable." Take a look at this, Matt. I'll get your take. Here he blocks it with his left hand.
Dunk that shit.
That kid's 6'7", 245. So, Matt, I got to get your take as to this because obviously there's been a long lineage of football players that have played basketball, whether that's Jimmy Graham, played basketball at Miami, and then obviously played football. That's Julius Thomas, played at Portland State up in the Pacific Northwest, Big Sky Conference, and also played basketball. Antonio Gates, obviously, at Kent State, and then Tony Gonzalez at Cal.
Yeah,
Matt,
how about Julius Peppers?
Julius Peppers as well.
These motherfuckers. Julius Peppers ran circles around these boys.
Well, I was just highlighting the tight ends that played in college as well. But Matt, I got to ask you about Trey Dez Green. We saw this. Matt, do you think LSU could develop this kid into a kind of like Antonio Gates, who played basketball and football? And who knows what's going to happen in the future? Travis Hunter doing both ways. You played both ways in the NFL, 2 sports, but it's possible. You never know. I'm not going to say no to it. Go ahead.
Well, he's already doing it. He already plays tight end for LSU. So, yeah, I mean, he plays football first. That seems to be his first love. I think the kid is a really good athlete. I believe that they'll get every ounce of ability out of him at that level. The college coaches and the college players around him have to know how special he is. Yep. So, yeah, it's about getting him the rock and making sure that he's healthy and then not guarding him. I mean, you can't guard people in the game of football. You have to go play. He's obviously athletic. He can get off the floor when you're talking about. We'll see. I think that he has the potential to be as explosive as anybody. 6'7", you said?
Yep, 6'7",
so that's pretty goddamn outstanding when you're talking about 6'7", 260, and that some bitch is floor to floor, blocking the shot, collecting the rebound, 3 dribbles, 2 steps, and a whammy. I'm with that shit. So that's
true freshman. Yeah.
I mean, he's covering ground too. So if I'm Brian Kelly, I'm doing everything humanly possible to get this guy the rock next year, as much as humanly possible before he hits the old transfer portal.
Yeah, absolutely. And he actually played this year at LSU took on Baylor in a bowl game. He actually played, and he caught 2 touchdowns in that game. Here's Garrett Nussmeier's comments on him playing in the game and having great success. Take a listen.
An unbelievable night. He asked me a couple weeks ago, he said, you think I'm really going to get like maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns in the game? I was like, yeah, bro, like you're really good, you know, like, and I was like, after the game, I joked with him. I said, I told you, bro, like, I told you. So, I'm super happy for him, super proud of him, the way he worked and stepping up into his opportunity.
True freshman, Matt. Balling.
Good for you, Green. Good for you, man. That's big time, especially to have your peers say it about you. So, yeah, let's see what happens with this kid. We're definitely going to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, definitely going to keep an eye on that kid for sure. Shout out to Trey Dez Green. But Matt, great show on this fine Monday. Covered a lot of different topics. Man, we were coming off a great weekend of football. Great show on this fine Monday. For those watching, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. We appreciate all of our members who are watching. Stay tuned for new film breakdowns today and tomorrow. I'm sure Matt's going to do a lot from the Bills and Chiefs game. But Matt, any closing thoughts before we get out of here on this fine Monday?
No, we'll be back the rest of the week. Just keep your ear to the ground on what days. Probably off tomorrow and then back Wednesday. Try and just smoothly get into the Super Bowl. And then we'll see what happens. But good show, and I got to go.
Absolutely. If we're off tomorrow, I should be live on my channel, Bailey Price Media. Go ahead and drop a subscribe to that as well. I should be live tomorrow, same time. And to all those who have been supporting our videos and hitting the like button, watching, commenting, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. We'll be back either Wednesday or Thursday. And, man, we'll be out of here. Appreciate you. Happy Monday. Thank you for watching. Peace.